Chow Wing Ching.
Interesting.
Tough.
Just how good are the best quizzes in the world? Once a year there's a chance to find out, and that's the World Quizzing Championships. I went along this year to find out how much better the best players are than I am. So here we are, it's World Quizzing Championship Day, and I've just made the journey to Northampton in the East Midlands of the UK. We'll see how it all goes and report back on what promises to be a quite brutal and difficult quiz. This is where I made my top-level quizzing debut back in 2006. But enough of the nostalgia, on with the first half. Well, as expected, that was brutally difficult. A few errors made, just stuff I couldn't recall that I've heard before. Most stuff, I just never heard it, so can't beat myself up over that. A few silly errors though, a few things where I didn't quite get there. So it'll be interesting to see the second half, but I think it's probably going to be my weaker second half, so I'm not that confident. And the thing I got most correct on the day was how difficult the second half would be. Afterwards, I asked some quizzers how they'd found it. Steve, you are one of the ever-presents of the World Quizzing Championship. Why do you keep coming back?
I think we're called the Eternals, actually. Why do I keep coming back? Well, it's a great quiz. It's all around the world, very inclusive, and pure masochism, really. And
how did you find today's?
Well, I thought the questions were great. I thought they suited the quiz map and down to the ground, but didn't suit me. Just very, very hard, but well-written questions, I thought.
And you'll be back next year?
Of course, back for the 20th occasion. And
how about a former teammate of mine, Kathryn Johnson? So Kathryn, this isn't your first time round the houses on the World Championships. How was it today?
I've known it feel worse and be better. I was doing okay until I got to Sport and World, and I really needn't have bothered coming as regards sport. I think I got 3. And World, I think every single guess which I thought might come in didn't. So that's probably the worst I've ever done at World. But the rest of it could have been a lot worse.
Okay, so you're feeling okay about your day?
Yes, it's great. It's so great the difference between this and last year is just, online doesn't cut it for me at all. It's better than nothing, but this is the real deal.
And you'll be back next year?
Of course I'll be back next year, especially if there's those vegetarian sausages.
So John, it's all over. How does it feel?
Relieved that it's over, I think. It's pretty brutal. Second half especially, even more so than the first half.
Any standout moments or any really bad misses?
I was pleased with getting Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, because I got it wrong before. A couple of bad misses. I didn't get the very first question of the second half on loom. That just completely slipped my mind. I found often, because you expect that the first question is going to be almost like a gimme, but I think of the 8 genres, probably only got 3 or 4 with question 1, so tough.
Okay, so next year you'll be back. How are you going to approach it?
I'll be using Anki to revise, because that's what the best seem to do, and hopefully that will help me move up the rankings a bit more.
How did it go?
Not very well for me. I think I've counted it's probably my worst score I've done at the Worlds before. It's my 5th one I've done, and generally didn't suit me very well today.
Any particular genres that were particularly good or particularly bad for you?
Entertainment's usually my best genre. I got 18 on that, but everything else, I know there's big gaps in my knowledge of a lot of these genres, but it's still a fun thing to do.
I think it's been a hard day for everybody. It was definitely a harder quiz than previous World Championships have been, but that's no bad thing.
As the quizzes began their post-mortems, I reflected on my 15th World Championships. Well, it wouldn't be entirely fair to say that I'm a broken man, but I'm not that far off. It was a brutalising second half. Did terribly in most of the rounds. Probably expected to do pretty terribly, and then I never really do very well in science. And sport is usually really hard, but World really kind of caught me as well this time. So a lower score than I think I've got for a long time. But still, it was great to be back quizzing with normal people in a normal environment. That was the one saving grace of it all. Some fantastic questions in there and some really good hits as well. I'm really pleased with some answers, but overall it's hard to kind of come out of it feeling anything more than really wrung out. We're seeing some incredible scores starting to come in, some key and familiar names starting to emerge near the top, which is really, really good. So over the course of today, we'll end up seeing who wins, and best of luck to everybody who's yet to sit the quiz. The winner is Ronnie's Figures. Ronnie is an absolutely fantastic guy, brilliant quizzer from Belgium. I'm absolutely delighted for him. You may have seen a preview interview we did with him. There are also some other tremendous performances. Particularly pleasing was Didier Bruyere coming second. Didier has had a hell of a year and has just pulled out an amazing result to come second. Well done to Didier. Well done also to Tero Kalialevo from Finland, a brilliant player, so good. As for myself, well, looking at the stats, score-wise, it was the worst ever performance I've had since I started doing World Championships in 2007. What's the reason for this? Well, I haven't been putting in the work that I used to. I've been doing stuff on All Things Quiz. That takes up a lot of my time. I normally do some prep for the World Championships, focused on the things that come up. Didn't do any of that this year. But really, that's not an excuse. I think the reality is twofold. One, I've probably been slipping back for a few years, and that's fine. I've kind of made that choice that I can't really be competitive on the world stage without putting in huge amounts of work, and I just don't have the time. And secondly, there are so many better quizzers out there, new talented quizzers coming through, and people who work so much harder and so much smarter than people like me. But you know what? The World Championships isn't just about the people who win the top honours. It's about everybody who sets a personal target and achieves it. And well done to everybody who came out of the World Championships feeling good about themselves. And to everybody else, there's always next year.